Hi, my name is Nancy Love, and I'm making this video on behalf of the Planet Peace Project. Part of the Planet Peace Project's mission is to deal with behavioral medical issues, and I've had people just cry on me and say they've learned a lot about psychology from these videos, and I intend to teach you quite a lot more. I'd like to talk today about a phenomenon called sexual pareidolia, and it appears to be a delusion that some people have, probably because of former drug use, current drug use, or possibly an organic brain syndrome. I encountered someone recently who said that the fact that I possess a notebook with this design on it, and that apparently it didn't bother him, or, didn't impact him that I have had this notebook for quite a while. He said that these were sexual symbols, and it looked like me to him, and that obviously, since I showed him a notebook like this, that I was coming on to him sexually. I pointed out very rationally, because after all, I am a very rational individual, that in point of fact, I had had the notebook for at least a year before I knew of his existence or met him, and nobody was showing him a notebook in order to, you know, show him sexual symbols. And he said, "Haven't you ever heard of George O'Keeffe?" I said, "Of course. My former husband bought me a huge coffee table book full of her art when I was an art student getting my degree with high honors in art. Of course, I've heard of George O'Keeffe." And he said, "Oh, now you're trying to make me jealous with your ex-husband and your fancy book." And I think, oh my God. Oh, I'm so tired of crazy people. That's me with 72 hours of psychology talking and several decades of formal and informal counseling. He also said that this was full of sexual symbols, and that the fact that I wear this dress is an indication that I am coming on to him. Plus, he said that he screamed at me one time that the dress was looking at him. Okay, it's a dress. It's fabric. Yeah, those symbols there at the bottom do kind of sort of look like eyes. I think that's a classic Native American imago or iconography. But he said that he pointed at, he says, "This is you to me, this is sexual symbols, and this is your dress looking at me." And he said he hates that dress because it's looking at him. Oh my God. He also said that when I tied this up, it's just a blanket I tied to soften an area of a place that I had decorating control over. He said that this was a sexual symbol, and that this looked like a woman to him, and that this was some sort of sexual come on or turn on. I said, nobody ever said yes. Hanging a blanket anywhere is not a yes. Then he said that the um, the muffler here, I don't know if you can see that, but on the side there's just a craft yarn created muffler, and he said that these were all sexual symbols. It goes on and on. This guy is really scary, and I did talk to some people at the mental health division of the Los Angeles County, and they said that it sounded like he had an organic brain syndrome. It sounded like he was completely delusional, or it sounded like he was delusional as a direct result of cocaine use or methamphetamine use. Another person in the field of psychology suggested it could be lysergic acid, LSD. But for whatever reason, when someone, and I've encountered this just a very, very few times in my life. I encountered it many, many years ago with someone who saw sexual symbols everywhere. And I knew him from childhood on, and he was a criminal literally from the time he was 6 years old. When that guy was 6 years old, he physically assaulted a female child at elementary school because she was talking to other boys. So he beat her. And that's the sort of person who develops sexual pareidolia. Pareidolia, if you're not familiar with the term, is the human brain's tendency to create meaning in relatively meaningless stimuli or phenomena. So I do want you to understand that many, many years ago, I was probably 18, 19, and just beginning my studies in psychology. I started college when I was 17, and, you know, I didn't know yet that what that guy was talking about back then was a form of delusion. But he and just a handful of other people I've known in my life, including this person I have the profound misfortune to have met recently, are basically very, very severely mentally ill. And if someone claims that you have a notebook with flowers on it and therefore you are, you know, trying to come on to them sexually because your notebook has flowers on it, or someone claims that your dress is similarly a come on and it has eyes on it that are looking at him, or if you innocently hang a blanket somewhere and he starts seeing female genitalia in the blanket. We're talking about somebody with a writhing mess of a brain, and this person needs to be in a mental institution. It goes on, and his sexual pareidolia is only one of the most horrifying things I've found out about this person. But it's going to come out. Um, Shakespeare said the truth will out. Nancy Love says the truth will out right now. I'm not putting up with any more of this. He's going to jail.